Hello, everyone, and welcome back, or welcome for the first time to the Musician You podcast.
Woo. So today, we are going to talk about... I missed it. So today, we are going to talk about the Stylophone, the history, what it did, what it is, and all the stuff. The Stylophone is just this little synthesizer, and this is a remake, but we'll get into this later. And hopefully, my goal is at the end of this, I will record a solo on our upcoming track called Never Stop. That's my goal. If I can, that's a different story.
You know what? It might be that a Stylophone solo is the one thing that has been missing that will complete this track. Yeah, so Drake, what is this Stylophone?
What is this thing, right? All right, so basically, let's open it up first. Let's do that. Let's take a look at it. Yeah. Stylophone sticker. Ooh, we can put that in our coffee maker. At home, we have a coffee maker that has a bunch of stickers on it.
I enjoy the stickers. This episode of Musician You, as always, has been brought to you by coffee.
You know it, you love it.
You know it, you love it. Thank you, coffee.
We got a little dust rag, I guess.
Cleaning cloth, fingerprint cloth. Very nice, very nice.
Ooh.
So how much did one of these set us back?
$7,000.
That's a lot.
No, I'm just kidding. You can get this brand new on Amazon for approximately $30. $35, I think.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
All right.
But we'll get to that later. You're skipping ahead.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. So this is a Stylophone. This is the remake. But back in 1967, this guy named Brian Jarvis invented this.
It just so happened that I'd repaired a toy piano for my niece. The hammers on the keys had broken off, and I replaced them with contacts and some electronics and a loudspeaker and a battery, and turned it into an electronic organ. And I thought, well, it's a monophonic instrument. It plays one note at a time. So really you could actually make the keys as part of the circuit board. And, then you could put it into a cabinet and just have a stylus, little cabinet, and you've got yourself an instrument. And I looked up at Bert, and he was sort of looking at me with his mouth open. And he said, well, don't just sit there, make the bloody thing.
The company was called Dubreq, Dubreq, in London. Oh, I see why. They give you this little dusty rag.
Yeah.
My gross fingerprint just got on the little metal there.
Huh.
Okay, so already useful. Anyway, this was released in 1968 as a pocket-sized battery-powered electronic organ synthesizer, basically. And what it is, it has a little stylus. And it does that, right? And it was a toy. It was supposed to be a toy, and it was like a super budget synth, but they sold 3 to 4 million units by the mid-70s.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you needed a synthy sound and you wanted to actually use it, buying a big old synth in the 60s and 70s was not cost effective for most humans.
So this became widely popular, and the big thing that made it popular was the television commercial.
It's a television commercial.
Recognize this? One of the first tunes I ever played on Stylophone. Stylophone, the unique musical instrument anyone can play. The Stylophone Pocket Electronic Organ by Dubreq.
We're going to briefly mention Rolf Harris, who was the face of Stylophone ads in the UK during the early 1970s and was the person you just saw in those commercials. He played a major role in its marketing initially, but it's important to note that in 2014, he was convicted of multiple indecent assaults involving underage girls, he served time, and passed away in 2023. But the instrument's legacy stands separate from the scandal, so that's as much as we're going to talk about Rolf Harris. Back to the Stylophone. So
one of the biggest notable things about this was David Bowie used this on Space Oddity. If you listen to it, it gives this little eerie melodic buzz in the background. It's probably something like this.
I'm going to have to go back and listen.
Yeah.
Because I don't
Unfortunately, due to publishing rights, we can't put this.
Yeah, otherwise we just like
we
listen
just
to the
play
whole
it.
song and
But yeah, go listen to it. He also used it on his 2002 album, Heathen.
Cool.
And Kraftwerk. They used it on their song back in 81, I think, called the Pocket Calculator. So once again, if you hear some sound like this, it's probably this.
It was one of those.
But other indie bands like Pulp, Bell and Sebastian,
yes.
Manic Street Preachers, they used it for, its tone.
It's quirky.
It's quirky
little thing. Let's get into the models of the Stylophone. Starting with the Stylophone Standard, which came out in 1968. It was a 20-key metal circuit board, monophonic tone, vibrato switch, and no volume knob. So they couldn't adjust the volume?
I guess not.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
The tone switch for normal and then octave up or down.
Which this has.
Dig it.
Yep.
Early 70s, they had bass and treble models, identical hardware with pitch shifted down for bass or up for treble, and the Stylophone 350S from 1975. It looked like an Atari 2600. It's a full console synth, 44 keys, 2 styluses, 80 plus timbers, wah filter, volume via light sensor. It had all the bells and whistles.
This was the bee's knees.
I want it.
I want one. So I looked all over eBay, and just for spare parts as an unworking unit, it was over $200.
Also, there were only 3,000 models of this made, 3,000 units made of this model, so we're not gonna have one.
No, someday.
But
so yeah, it did look like an Atari 2600. It looks like it could be its brother, right? So when I had this realization, I was just doing research on all this, and I found the Stylophone 350S, and I was like, oh my God, we have an Atari 2600 at home. And, with its wonderful wood paneling, it's so stylistic of that era. So I started thinking, I was just like, what influenced what? What came first?
Oh.
Did the Stylophone come out first, or did the Atari come out first? And the Stylophone came out first by 2 years, but that was not influential of each other. It was influenced by the time, right?
dude, wood paneling, man.
So most products in the 70s that were supposed to end up in the living room, we're talking TVs, radios, record players, anything, were meant to match the living room, which was wooden panels. We've all been in the 1970s looking, grandma's living room.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, so why?
Yeah. Why? It's a
What
great
happened?
question.
We all have seen it. We've all seen those couches. Those couches that have the floral pattern, but like the arms are wooden. And they're like rounded on the edge, and you smash your arms on. Yeah, it was all this wooden, earthy tones. And the reason is, straight up, it was one of the cheapest materials to make. And at the time, homes were made with plastered walls, not sheetrock. So the walls are bumpy, right? And plaster over time just kind of crumbles, or just it's not wonderful, right?
Yeah, we have a house with plaster walls. It's not like, I love our house, but it's not like the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's not ideal, especially if you're like putting
nails
screws in it, whatever. It blows out.
You're taking chunks out of that wall.
So this wood paneling was just super, super efficient and money saving, right? And then very easy to put over plastered walls. And then it also matched the whole tonality of the 70s, where they wanted to bring back nature, bring nature into the home.
So that's why the wood paneling cars were a thing too,
Everything.
right?
Yeah. The wood paneling cars was kind of an offshoot of like, bring your home to your car, make your
That's
living room look like
funny.
this. So the Stylophone did it. Atari did it. The Pioneer SX2500 radio, the Marantz 2270 receiver, the Sony TC37 reel-to-reel, and pretty much every TV set ever.
That's so funny.
But one of the first notable ones was the Zenith Chromacolor 2, especially the 71 model. So it's kind of funny, right?
I thought this was going to be a podcast about a stylophone. This is actually a podcast about the 70s wood paneling
It is.
phenomena. Anyways, getting back to the stylophone. In 1975, basically the company just stopped producing product. It wasn't officially shut down as a company, but they just stopped making stylophones. So there were no more stylophones.
Yeah.
Interest over the years was kind of kept alive by DIY culture and retro synth lovers and David Bowie fans, yada, yada. And then in 2007, Ben Jarvis, who is Brian's son, relaunched Dubreq, the company. And their first new product was in 2007, which was a digital emulation of the original, which is what we have in our hands.
or wait.
That was good.
Yeah, back after 30 years.
Yeah, back after 30 years, and they've been making new products since 2007.
Yeah. And this one it's pretty simple. It has a volume knob. It has a 3-tone switch, is really just octaves. You know, play this, and then you can go lower. It's cool. What's cool about this one, though, is you can tune it. So, if you don't mind, hold this onto a note.
Oh. That is cool.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't like on the back of it. I wish it was like a little knob on the front.
Yeah, like a little whammy.
Yeah. A little whammy bar.
It would be cool. I
Yeah.
think it's just to match the pitch of whatever song you're working with.
Gotcha.
Just to make sure that it matches.
Not to mess around with.
Yeah. And maybe the circuitry inside isn't perfect. So depending on how it's made and however close the circuits are or whatever, maybe each one is slightly off. So they had to do this to make sure that it could be actually in tune. That is all speculation, though. Yeah. And since 2007, this thing has become a hit. A matter of fact, right now, this stylophone is the #1 selling synth on Amazon. Isn't that funny?
That's very unexpected.
And well, I think it's because of the price.
Yeah, it is a really good price.
And it's how it looks and how it feels is very awesome.
Yeah.
You know, like this is a cool little gift.
Yeah.
You know, is it super serious? No. Is it usable? Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's probably about the same price as like the mini Casio.
Yeah.
A little like keyboard I got when I was like 8.
Yeah.
And it had all the different sounds and stuff.
Now, granted, those are pretty awesome in their own right.
Those are so cool.
And those old sounds that the Casio has, man, I love them. It is a little more versatile than this, but Stylophone came up with a bunch of other products.
Yeah.
There's the Gen X1, which is a ribbon controller.
Ooh.
There's the Bowie edition that came out in 2021. It's a white body Bowie branding. There was some advertisements for that one.
Nice.
And there's the pink edition, which is basically the S1, but with pink. There was the Stylophone Beat, which is basically a drum machine, kind of in the same deal. The DS2, the analog drone with patchable delay, and the Theremin.
Ooh.
Which I really want the Theremin.
Yeah.
I do. You know, a Theremin's the hand waving thing that you bring up one hand and it slides the pitch.
I mess with that.
I actually don't really know how they work. We should do a deep dive on the Theremin.
Yeah.
Really, the whole point of this, other than the 1970s paneling, is I want to actually attempt to do a solo. Because if you notice, it's a keyboard. With the sharps and flats as well.
Yep.
And I know the shape, and it's interesting. The way I play piano is often in shapes, the way I improvise. I mean, I know all the notes of all the keys and everything as it's going by, just because I've studied it my whole life. But I definitely see the scale kind of all at once. So when I see the scale, I can see it on this little keyboard. So I have a feeling, other than the dexterity of holding a pen instead of using my fingers, and then the one note at a time, and the fact that sliding, I'm going to hit all the other notes. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I can't promise anything, but I'm definitely going to give it a shot. So, okay, what I'm going to do first is there's a melody in here that I had with my voice because it was just a melody that I heard. So I put it with my voice, and then we kind of just kept it. But now we're going to use the Stylophone to do that. So I'm going to do that first.
Slick. You know, I was joking when I said that this might have been the thing that was like missing from this song, but I'm not like.
Yeah, no, this is.
It's actually like really awesome.
This is great. So, this is more than we expected.
Yeah, it's gonna be all over the song.
But now for the solo. One thing I don't really love about this is this. If this is in tune, this is flat.
Oh yeah.
But so is life.
So are voices. So are.
Yeah. All right. I kind of like that one.
I like that one too.
I think there's a lot to play with.
I think so as well.
And so, the next part is editing this all together. And there was. That's the solo. And that's the one we're going to keep.
That was so much cooler than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was a lot easier than I anticipated.
I'm shocked. Not shocked. I know what you're capable of, but I didn't know what this was capable of.
Yeah, like I said, I could see the shapes, and I knew the shapes of the scales that I had to play. So I just went with it, and that's going to be what it is, and it will be on our recording.
Woo!
So make sure to check it out whenever it's posted. You know, we got to finalize it, master it, and all that stuff. But it'll be on Spotify, iTunes, all the things. Or it already has been if you're watching this in the future. So you've been missing out. Come on.
Yeah, what the heck?
But I think that's it. Thank you for watching.
That's it.
And we'll do more of these in the future. So keep an eye out for those too.
Yeah.
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 Bye, guys.
Bye.